Good morning. Welcome to 4 by 8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. Grab some brushes, grab some paint, grab some paper. We're in New York. Let's journal about it. So, we're going to talk about the flight. The flight was, all the things were going off. Sorry. The flight was uneventful. It does crack me up, though, to go from a teeny tiny airport like Columbia, South Carolina, where I am, into this gigantic mass of LaGuardia where I landed. And it takes about, well, it probably wouldn't take as long as it does for me because I leave on a teeny tiny plane because that's the only kind that can come into Colombia are teeny tiny ones. The kind that you have an aisle and perhaps one seat on each side, or sometimes one seat on one side and two seats on another side. Colombia has one terminal. Yes, you heard it. One. And I think we have like a total of 10 gates. Yes. Um, Columbia is the capital of South Carolina, but that doesn't mean we're um, progressed into the future at all. And trust me, this airport has recently been updated. So we're getting there. We're just taking baby steps here. And LaGuardia not only has been uh, refurnished, whatever you want to call it, remodeled, but it's in a constant state of remodeling and construction and everything else. And it's still hard to maneuver, hard to get around, loud, dirty, but it's New York. You take it with a grain of salt in New York and you just go with it. When I do these trips, I have the last two times I have gone by myself. Some people say that's crazy, but it's a way for me to decompress in a gigantic city. Yes, I know, but I do decompress. I get a lot of stuff out of my system that has been pent up for a year. Well, actually 6 months because I kind of do a quilt trip in the winter and then towards late summer, early fall, I do a New York trip. At least that's how it's been the last 2 years. This year I can't go. I have sick parents and I'm a caregiver and I'm landlocked. So it's an imaginary trip. I'm a virtual traveler on this series of videos. But this would be my journal if I did journal about it. And maybe I'll show you some of my other journals about New York um, here and there. So I thought I might not narrate all the supplies I use because I pretty much do the same thing. Stabilo Woodies, a little paint, a little sticker, a little washi tape, some journaling. And when I try new things, it doesn't always work, like paint splatters or trying to cluster a group of pictures in the center with a little bit of color behind it. I think I should have gone horizontal instead of vertical with the paint. But hey, that's how we learn. We just keep going and we learn each time. Yep, yep, yep. I'm learning. This is me learning with you in New York. So my flight was uneventful. I got a coffee in Columbia and no Starbucks. We don't have Starbucks. I know, I know. Have I told you how antiquated it is? But the water did something funky with the Stabilos there when I splashed it. Pretty. So, looks like I'm going into red coral. Nope, LaGuardia. I chose red because of the Big Apple. That's not going to be the theme all the way through, trust me. Uh, I don't know what the theme is going to be. I like working for anybody that might be watching this and stumbled upon this crazy lady that's doing a virtual trip. I got this idea from a recent Flow magazine. This lady is one of those kind of people that can't leave her house, has anxiety issues, and so she travels virtually with Google Earth. I was like, well, heck, I could do that with New York and still pretend like I'm there and have fun. So this is my trip to New York virtually with you in real time art. Um, my trip was uneventful. The plane was very on time. You get into LaGuardia and you're immediately faced with the sounds of horns beeping, taxis honking at you, a million different languages, um, the smell of construction exhaust fumes. There ain't nothing like it, people. I don't know why that lets me decompress, but it does, so I'm going with it. I made these little kind of six sided, no, five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sided shapes, kind of like a stretched out octagon. No, octagon's 8, right? Anyhow, this size little thing I made, and I thought, well, maybe I can make a couple little bullet points on here. But the bullet points aren't coming at the moment, so I'm just going to make them and glue them down and bullet point them later. But right now, I am off to go do some exploring, grab some lunch, and I have a big evening plan tonight. So I've got my hotel room. That was all uneventful. I only had to wait in line for an hour and registration, even with reservations, but whatever. I usually stay somewhere close to Times Square, only because I know it's massive people, but it's a great intersection for me. The things I like to do, I know that area pretty well because that's where I usually stay on most of my trips. One time I stayed by Grand Central Station, which would be okay too, but I stay in this area. I know the area. I'm okay with the amount of people out on the street at night. It's way, way, way crowded, and I feel comfortable with that. I don't usually go out by myself unless I go from a taxi to a taxi. I love taking the subway, not at night when I'm by myself. It'd be different if my husband was with me. There's the little stack of washi tape ready to go, and the planes from all these different airports, from a teeny tiny airport to a large airport. So I'm going to regroup, going to go grab some lunch, probably off a food truck, and get ready to do a little bit of a walk and get ready for tonight. It's a big night, a big, big night. So thanks for watching. Come back tomorrow and see where we get up to in our virtual tour of New York.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to